It's Kosher MGTOW. Welcome to another video. Going to reflect on this one next. Jewish women talk dating. We're looking at a starting lineup here featuring 4 Jewish women, one of which with the very curly hair down to her jawline at most. Another one with bangs, cackling and enjoying herself. Another one on the left who is clearly probably not necessarily among the top 10. And then another one on the left who just seems to be going along with the show. Look at their footwear. They really dressed up for the occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, Jewish women talk dating. I'll be pausing this every now and then so we can check out some details. Let's see what's going on.
Going on like J Swipe or J Date is essentially like going through the camera roll of like screenshots your mom has of like people, like her friends' sons and daughters that she's trying to set you up with.
Okay, so J Date, J Swipe are dating apps for Jews. They're not much different than Tinder. And J Date is a branch of Match.com. Lots and lots of fake profiles, lots of women pretending on the site to be interested in men. They are not, they are fake profiles left and right. Some of these women will respond with a one liner, hey, and then you'll never hear from them ever again. I'd say response rates on these sites are extremely low, and these women have hundreds to choose from on a daily basis. Why would they select you when they have 100 others to choose from? Then, the mention of the Jewish mother with a Rolodex of pictures and names and faces. The girls are laughing because they like the fact that a Jewish mother is trying to direct them in the right direction, but she has her own opinion on the left about it. Let's keep going.
Nope, still no winners here, but like, thank you for trying. Is it rolling? I'm Lily, I'm 19 years old.
I'm Ariel, I'm 24 years old.
My name is Enbar, I'm 23.
I'm Ariel, I'm 28 years old.
So these women are prime ages to date and potentially marry and wed and have children with. Are you enjoying these 4 women at all so far? I can't really say for sure. All I've heard of is from the first one, and based off what I see, her intentions are already questionable.
Absolutely feel pressure not only from my parents, but also from every other person in my family and every other Jew I know.
So you don't have to feel this kind of pressure all the time. As a matter of fact, if you want to distance yourself from your family, you could do that. Maybe it's not necessarily morally or ethically the right thing to do, but you don't have to talk to every member of your family and listen to every last thing that they say.
I had this like deep talk with my father, my Abba actually, and he was telling me about how I like told him, I'm like, I don't need to marry a Jew because my kids are going to be Jewish. And he,
well, that's the underlying impression. As long as the child travels through the kosher woman's reproductive system, they're automatically classified as Jewish, whether or not the sperm that it fertilized the egg was from a Jewish man or not. This is a classic example of a woman who could care less if she is with a Jewish man or not. And in many ways, she will have no problem dating from guy to guy to guy, any race, any nationality, any creed, any color, any religion. So all these are red flags that she is not a candidate at all whatsoever for dating or otherwise from any Jewish man at this time. She has not got her priorities straight.
see, like, I know where you're going with that, but you have 2 younger brothers and you're the role model, so you need to marry Jewish, so they marry Jewish. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of pressure.
I think
No, it's not. You are in a family that is Jewish, and your parents have Jewish expectations, and they want you to marry Jewish. If you don't like it, leave. And if you are there, then you are a role model, whether you know it or you don't know it. Your Abba is right.
It was like the last time I was home, my dad was like, so, doesn't matter what gender they are, just make sure they're Jewish. He's like, oh my god, he's never even cared before, but maybe because I'm 28 and like babies and kids and like want grandkids, I don't know.
My puppy recently.
Really? So the one on the right is bi, and this happens with a lot of Jewish women. They make a discovery that they prefer to be with Jewish women than men in all ways, shapes, and forms. The one on the right, automatically disqualified. It's a shame. She's tall, and, well, you know, more of this. Just the girls with the girls and the guys with the guys. You don't think that there's going to be exchanging of diseases when all this goes down? Oh yeah, get with another Jewish woman. That's cool. And then when you adopt a kid, you can just raise them Jewish, so you have two mothers instead of no dads. I wonder what that kid's going to be like when they grow older. Oh yeah, they're going to have autism and anxiety attacks.
The exact same sentence to me. I think that there's a lot of pressure that's put on women to like, and also non-binary and trans men to replenish the diaspora in a way that is kind of unrealistic and also unfair, and like there's sort of this guilt that comes along with it that I'm like, because I don't want to have kids, am I bad Jew? Am I not being a contributive member of my tribe, of my society?
All right, gender studies, everybody. The one on the left has taken enough gender studies for a lifetime that she knows every vocabulary word to ring a bell on trans and binary and non-binary. Do you really want to deal with that? If she were to have a child that popped out as a guy and then wanted to dress up as a woman, she would cheer for it. Anybody that was raised as a conservative Jew would probably take one look at that and say, that is repulsive.
It was almost like a turn off to be Jewish because it was like, oh, my family would like you and like fit in and I'd fit in and I'm just like doing everything perfect and like I don't want that.
I feel like I'd have a lot.
Yeah, that's the sad reality. The sad reality, of course, is the fact that according to other cultures, Jews are among some of the lowest scum on the face of the earth for everyone's preconceived notions, which is not fair, it's not proper, it's not correct, but this is the general term. So, of course, Jewish families are going to want to push the idea of Jews staying with Jews because if Jews intermingle among society with others, it creates a dynamic that may not be so positive.
Like connections with someone who's Jewish, but then I actually like I'll meet someone who's Jewish and I'm like, oh my god, we have nothing in common except like I'm romanticizing the whole Jewish part aspect of them.
I have noticed that kind of recently that like if they're not Jewish, I take them less seriously. I don't know, like I think I still struggle with, is it brainwashing or is it like honest?
Like from your abuela, like your family.
Yeah, I don't know. Like if I would like meet someone, we'd go out or whatever, and like it might be great, but there was still sort of like some barrier. And I noticed, oh, like I happen to be much more open and more excited if I like knew that they were Jewish.
And I noticed when I'm with.
Right. So it's not as serious when you're not with a Jew, so you can have more fun and you can screw around and you don't have to worry about repercussions. Interesting call there on the right.
Someone who is Jewish, like there's a different sense of like home and familiarity that someone who isn't.
I totally feel that. Even if I find someone who I think embodies Jewish values and exudes them, and like you know that education is of the utmost importance to them, that they're a mensch, that they care about the world, that they give back, just those values that I feel like Hebrew Day School has instilled in us, and just being raised in a Jewish household in general. And so sometimes I feel like, okay, if the dude's not Jewish, but he has that, that's okay. And as long as I can impart all that shit to my kids, that's what's the most important.
She calls it shit. She calls what you learn in Hebrew school shit. She calls traditional upbringing shit. If you're with a guy that is a mensch, a simp, a glorified simp, it's still okay, even if they're not Jewish. Delusional women, people, all disqualified.
The political climate super affects how I am learning to identify myself and how dating a Jewish person or building a life and a family with a Jewish person makes sense because they also, it's like that shared history. And I mean, unfortunately, I guess that like genetic trauma, but also, or generational trauma, but like also it's happening right now. So it's not even from before. It's like literally last year, this year.
And I hate
Mixed marriages. That is the downturn of a lot of society.
to be someone who's like not proud of their identity. I've just lived my life so actively proud to be Jewish, and I never want to be put in a position where in that moment I have to be ashamed of who I am or be terrified of who I am.
And so being with someone who's Jewish, that gives you that safety and like protection kind of.
I think so, yeah. I think it's very hard to confide in someone who isn't Jewish. At least for me, I'm very much like, I don't know what you feel. I don't really want to burden you with something that you'll truly never understand. And then I kind of, there's almost like a burden I feel on myself that like, oh, this is privilege to like not have to feel this all the time.
All baloney, all lies. She'll get with any guy to have relations. She'll get with any guy to take their money. She'll get with any guy if they're good looking enough. She will talk to them about anything and everything. All lies. Thank goodness this is over. It's not over? My goodness.
Number one fuckable Jew is Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah.
And Lenny Kravitz.
We're talking about
100%. Love Lenny Kravitz.
Lenny and Zoe.
together.
Together.
No, separate but conjoining rooms.
What? No. Just together.
I'm picturing it in my head
Yeah.
because I just can't not. It's not gross.
It's whatever.
Okay, so you have the wino on the right, and then you have the other girls cackling and laughing because their idea of the perfect Jew has celebrity status. Keep that in mind, people. If you are any man, if you are celebrity status versus someone without celebrity status, if you have more followers, if you have more money, if you have better looks, if you're skinnier, if you are taller, you will have the leg up over absolutely everybody else. So if you're not a celebrity, these girls don't have a crush on you. They're all fighting for the top tier man, and their top tier man is the one that they want to get with. Otherwise, they don't want to be with a Jew at all whatsoever. And even if they had a choice of the Jew or someone that wasn't a Jew, they probably wouldn't take the Jew in general. This is Kosher MGTOW. This is eye-opening stuff.